Hi, I'm doing a response video. The response video is something that I thought would be interesting to share. It's actually a tag video, but no one knows me well enough to tag me in things yet, unfortunately. But I thought I'd respond to it anyway because it's an interesting topic, and I thought I'd just share a bit about what I have and what I like and what I don't like. And the topic is your worst knife. Your worst knife. Now, worst I take to mean badly designed, doesn't function at its intended task. And I do have a bad knife like that, and I'll show you that in the end. But I would like to touch on my embarrassing knife as well. I have an embarrassing knife. It's my first knife that I got, and it's embarrassing that it's my first knife. And you'll know it when you see it. You'll know why it's an embarrassing first knife to have. And it is this bad boy. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm kind of embarrassed to say that the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife was the first proper fixed blade knife I bought all the way back in 2010, 4 years ago, when I was just getting interested in knives. And I bought it, I'm not too scared to say, I bought it because I was a watcher of Bear Grylls on his TV show, and I saw him always using knives and being cool outdoors. I don't think he ever actually used this knife, but when it came out on the internet that he'd made this knife, and it looked really cool, and I didn't know anything about knives, and I didn't really think there was that many, as bizarre as this sounds, I didn't think there was that many fixed blade survival knives out there. I thought, oh, that's a new concept to me, and this is how people who aren't knife people think. I thought, oh wow, there's a knife with Bear Grylls' name on it, with all this cool stuff on it, surely that has to be good. And you know what, it's not bad. It's not a terrible knife, it's not horrible, it feels comfortable in your hand, it's got a nice big grip. It's made of a thick piece of steel. This steel is not the highest grade in the world. I think it's 7CR 17 MOV, Chinese steel. Gerber never really said that though. I don't think they said what kind of steel this was. They didn't say until it was actually a steel they could be proud of in their new Ultimate Pro, which is 9CR 13, which is a good steel. You can't really knock that steel. It's good, it holds an edge well. This doesn't hold an edge as well. It goes blunt fairly quickly. It's got serrations, like what would you say? That's probably more than half of the blade is serrations. Real sort of real newbie friendly knife this one is, and it probably gives a reasonable first knife to have. And you learn from this knife what real knives are about. You learn that it's good to have a full tang knife because some people went out and battened with these and the pole broke off and all that sort of stuff. And you learn that fine edge is really better for your camp tasks and things like that. This really is, it's marketed as a survival knife, so you can see people, it's fair enough to knock it because you can't really use it to batten because it's not full tang. Well, you could, but you might break your knife, and if it's your survival knife, then it shouldn't break. You can use it to break rocks and things like that with the pommel, but the pommel might break. So I can see the criticism entirely, but as it actually functions, I cut things with it all the time still. It sits in my shed. I don't use any of the fancy whistle or fire steel or anything like that that's on the sheath, but it sits in my shed, and when I need to cut up some carpet, which I did the other day, had some carpet seconds that I was going to use to put some bedding at the bottom of my dog kennels, I use this knife. I use it for things that I don't want to ruin my Mora edges on or my other good knife edges on, so it's kind of nice to have a beater, and this is a really good beater, as long as you don't literally start beating it with a stick apparently, because then it breaks. So yes, my most embarrassing knife is, with a grimace, the Bear Grylls garishly orange and grey with a big BG logo on it. The Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. A bit embarrassing, I must say. That's fair. But whilst the Bear Grylls knife is embarrassing, it is still functional because what do you expect a knife to do? You expect it to cut things. This knife here, this doesn't cut anything. It's made of some kind of amazing steel that you cannot put an edge that lasts on. It's truly mind-boggling. Not to say I don't know how to sharpen things. I'm alright at sharpening things. This is a Mueller hunting knife. There isn't really any more detail I can go into than that. It's one of their smaller Mueller knives. I think Mueller are an okay knife maker. I think they definitely reside in the school of Winchester and Colt knives and things like that. They're probably fairly $25 price point knives. Or maybe $15 price point knives that you would buy at your big department store sort of things. I see these in my local camping store, which is a country town camping store, so that pretty much shows the calibre of the knife, I suppose. But yeah, it's a stainless steel of some description that when you sharpen it, yeah, it's sharp for a minute, but then you do one task with it and the edge is gone. It's literally about as sharp as a new butter knife, perhaps. Where perhaps if you fell on it, so perhaps if you fell on it with your whole body weight and you landed on the blade, yeah, it probably would cut you. But really, if you push, not doing anything at all, I mean, I'm hesitant to do a big pull down because that probably would cut, but it'd be a ragged, shitty, horrible cut. So yeah, and to compound this knife's problems, it's not full tang. The tang goes to about there, and this is all rubbery and squishy on the end here, and yeah, it just moves around sort of thing. You can push the rubber back and forward. The nicest part is the sheath. I like the sheath. Sorry, I like these little leather sheaths. It's got a layer in the middle for the knife to rest on, and a nice positive button snap. So a great sheath feel. Well, that's a good effort there. Too bad about the blade though. Generally, one wants their knife to cut things, and this did for about, I think it was 12 cuts. I cut up some wax boxes, and I did about 3 to use as kindling for my house wood burning stove. And then nothing, and then it was getting really hard. By the 4th wax box, I was pushing through them rather than slicing through them, and sort of drew my opinions on the quality of the steel right there. So yes, the Mueller hunting knife is my worst knife. Thanks for watching. See you later.